everybody. It's Bilbo and Frodo's birthday today, and I can't do a live broadcast, which I've often done in the past, to kind of celebrate the day because I'm flying to Portland, Oregon for Cascade Moot today. But I wanted to celebrate together with a little reading that I recorded in advance. So this is a passage, we talked about this only just months ago in Exploring the Lord of the Rings, but I was thinking about Bilbo and Frodo on their combined birthday, and this scene is one of the ones in the Fellowship of the Ring which I think is such an important transition moment. I think about, Bilbo and Frodo, Frodo as Bilbo's heir, the significance of that and what that means. I just, in writing my book, thinking about chapter 1 and Bilbo and Frodo as his heir, I was thinking a lot about that, thinking a lot in chapter 2 about, Frodo kind of taking over there as the central character. But that moment, so it's interesting, therefore, that at the beginning of the book, we don't get the transition, right? Frodo is left. He comes in after Bilbo is left, and it's like, is he gone, right? We don't get that moment of handoff. We're told about their relationship, but we don't see, although, again, so much is made in chapter 1 of Frodo being Bilbo's heir, we don't see that moment of handoff, right? Of really kind of the passing of the torch from one generation to the next. That really comes in Rivendell. Not at the beginning of book 1, but at the beginning of book 2, in The Ring Goes South. So that's the passage that I wanted to read today. Oh, sorry. I was on the wrong slide there. Back one slide. In those last days, the hobbits sat together in the evening in the Hall of Fire, and there among many tales they heard told in full the lay of Beren and Luthien, and the winning of the great jewel. But in the day, while Merry and Pippin were out and about, Frodo and Sam were to be found with Bilbo in his own small room. Then Bilbo would read passages from his book, which still seemed very incomplete, or scraps of his verses, or would take notes of Frodo's adventures. On the morning of the last day, Frodo was alone with Bilbo, and the old hobbit pulled out from under his bed a wooden box. He lifted the lid and fumbled inside. "Here is your sword," he said, "but it was broken, you know. I took it to keep it safe, but I've forgotten to ask if the smiths could mend it. No time now. So I thought, perhaps, you would care to have this, don't you know?" He took from the box a small sword in an old shabby leathern scabbard. Then he drew it, and its polished and well-tended blade glittered suddenly, cold and bright. "This is Sting," he said, and thrust it with little effort deep into a wooden beam. "Take it if you like. I shan't want it again, I expect." Frodo accepted it gratefully. "Also there is this," said Bilbo, bringing out a parcel which seemed to be rather heavy for its size. He unwound several folds of old cloth, and held up a small shirt of mail. It was close woven of many rings, as supple almost as linen, cold as ice, and harder than steel. It shone like moonlit silver, and was studded with white gems. With it was a belt of pearl and crystal. "It's a pretty thing, isn't it?" said Bilbo, moving it in the light. "And useful. It's my dwarf mail that Thorin gave me. I got it back from Mickle Delving before I started, and packed it with my luggage. I brought all the mementos of my journey away with me, except the ring. But I did not expect to use this, and I don't need it now, except to look at sometimes. You hardly feel any weight when you put it on." I don't think I should look right in it," said Frodo. "Just what I said myself," said Bilbo. "But never mind about looks. You can wear it under your outer clothes. Come on, you must share this secret with me. Don't tell anybody else, but I should feel happier if I knew you were wearing it. I have a fancy it would turn even the knives of the Black Riders," he ended in a low voice. "Very well, I will take it," said Frodo. Bilbo put it on him, and fastened Sting upon the glittering belt, and then Frodo put over the top his old weather-stained breeches, tunic, and jacket. "Just a plain hobbit you look," said Bilbo, "but there is more about you now than appears on the surface. Good luck to you." He turned away and looked out of the window, trying to hum a tune. "I cannot thank you as I should, Bilbo, for this and for all your past kindnesses," said Frodo. "Don't try," said the old hobbit, turning round and slapping him on the back. "Ow!" he cried. "You're too hard now to slap. But there you are. Hobbits must stick together, and especially Bagginses. All I ask in return is, take as much care of yourself as you can, and bring back all the news you can, and any old songs and tales you come by. I'll do my best to finish my book before you return. I'll do my best to finish my book before you return. I should like to write the second book if I am spared." He broke off and turned to the window again, singing softly. "I sit beside the fire and think of all that I have seen, of meadow flowers and butterflies in summers that have been, of yellow leaves and gossamer in autumns that there were, with morning mist and silver sun and wind upon my hair. I sit beside the fire and think of how the world will be when winter comes without a spring that I shall ever see. For still there are so many things that I have never seen. In every wood, in every spring, there is a different green. I sit beside the fire and think of people long ago, and people who will see a world that I shall never know. But all the while I sit and think of times there were before, I listen for returning feet and voices at the door." Thanks, everybody. Happy Bilbo's birthday. See you guys again soon.